Hi, and welcome back to another SkyPortal how-to. Today we're going to be talking about the testing infrastructure. And so the idea is that SkyPortal is an open source project, and because it has so many features, unit testing is important. So what is unit testing? Unit testing is a process by which you write software that test the application that you've developed. And so for SkyPortal in particular, because it has both an API and a web interface, it has tests that, in principle, should cover the entire app. And so if we're on the SkyPortal GitHub here, you can go into SkyPortal and then into tests. And you'll see here that there are tests for a variety of different pieces of the app. And so, for example, all of the API tests are an API. We have data, sample data that's used by the app within the data filter. We have what we call the sort of flaky part of the testing, tests that don't always pass for whatever reason. For example, some of the tests query other services that aren't always up, and so we put those in the flaky folder. The front end, which is to test the web services, testing for the models or the backend database, tests for the rate limits. So we have automated rate limits in the app to ensure that people don't spam the app, and so there's tests for that. We have various tools and utilities, and so specific functionality that we can test for in there, and then test specific basically configurations and fixtures. These are sort of structures that we build up and tear down to test the app. And so just going into, let's say, the front end tests, we can add a test, or we can see the various tests here. Typically, there's a test per page, something like that, or kind of per feature. And just because of the way PyTest works, all of these tests start with test underscore something. And so if we want to take a look at one of these tests here, these tests use an app or a package called Selenium, and in this case, this driver allows you to go to different web pages. So become a user, go to look for particular text, to send information into the app, to click buttons, and things like that. And so we'll just do a quick example here, where we will take a look at the terminals, the testing from within the terminals here. And so let's bring them up to the front here and here. And so the way testing works is we have this make run testing, or basically a testing configuration here. And if we take a look at in the second terminal here, we have PyTest running, and we'll take a look at this test upload photometry test here, and we can give it a run and see what the test actually does as we run it. And so when the test runs, it'll open a new screen with an empty SkyPortal here. Goes to a particular page, it inputs some data, manipulates the page, and checks for success here. And you can see here that this test passed. And so then this is broadly how the tests work. So this testing is useful, I would say, not only for developers, but also for users, especially if you're a user interested in the API and want to find out how to interact with the app. This is where I suggest people go to see things like, in this case, how to upload a GCN event or interact with the app. through the API. Of course, there are API docs, but this really gets into the nitty-gritty of many of the features that may otherwise not be well documented. So I'd like to say thank you. As always, if you have thoughts, questions, we look forward to seeing you next time.